Recently, fellow YouTuber and Castle fan Duckbricks bought around 40 copies of the new Sea Serpent gift with purchase and got tons of hate online, with some people even going as far as sending him death threats, which is honestly pretty crazy, but it just goes to show how much people care about gift with purchases. There are definitely issues with LEGO's GWP system, but who's really at fault? The people buying multiple copies, the resellers, or LEGO themselves? Today I want to break down the biggest issues surrounding gift with purchases, why they keep causing the same controversies over and over, and some realistic solutions that could actually make them better. First of all, let's talk about why gift with purchases matter so much to so many fans. Obviously, they're limited releases, but not every limited release is equally desirable. Themes like Castle, Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars almost always have more sought after GWPs, A, because they're popular themes, and B, because in the case of Castle and Lord of the Rings, the themes barely get any retail sets. Even then, there's a huge difference between individual gift with purchases. The Mini Knights Castle from 2025 can still be picked up for around $8 on Bricklink, whereas the new Sea Serpent is already selling for closer to $40. A big reason for that is the exclusivity. The Mini Knights Castle has no exclusive pieces, so you can easily part it together yourself. The Sea Serpent, on the other hand, has 2 exclusive shields and a unique cloth sail, so if you want those parts, you're basically forced to buy the set. But exclusive pieces aren't the only thing driving demand. For themes like Castle and Lord of the Rings, these gift with purchases are oftentimes one of only 2 or 3 releases for the entire year. In the case of the Sea Serpent, it's literally the only castle set releasing in 2026. On top of that, the promotion only lasts 6 days, and in some regions, it doesn't even last that long. That creates a massive fear of missing out, and that's exactly what makes LEGO's current system so frustrating. The biggest issue, in my opinion, is the artificial scarcity surrounding these sets. LEGO knows there's huge demand for themes like Castle and Lord of the Rings. They've seen how quickly these promotions sell out year after year, yet we continue seeing the exact same problems. In the US, stock has actually gotten better. Most recent gift with purchases have stayed available for at least a few days, which gives fans who are paying attention a fair chance to place an order. But the same can't be said everywhere. Australia and New Zealand consistently seem to receive far less stock. The Sea Serpent sold out there in around 10 hours, and this isn't the first time it's happened. I remember the Fell Beast gift with purchase disappearing in just a few hours during the launch of Barad-dûr, and even in the US, that one was gone in less than a day. The frustrating part is that LEGO never tells us how many copies each region is getting or how close they are to selling out. You're essentially racing against an invisible clock. At the very least, I'd love to see something similar to what the Bricklink Designer program used to have, where you could actually see roughly how many copies had been claimed. Even if it wasn't perfectly accurate, at least fans would know whether they had hours left or several days. And this is where I think the biggest misconception comes in. People often blame resellers or people buying multiple copies, but LEGO is the one deciding how much supply exists in the first place. They've created a system where a product that's only available for a few days is also one of the only products for the entire theme. Once you create that kind of scarcity, people are naturally going to compete for it. Another issue that gets brought up all the time is the high spending thresholds. Most major gift with purchases require you to spend between $100 and $250 just to receive what's essentially a $20 to $30 LEGO set. On paper, it sounds like a great deal because you're just getting a free bonus. But LEGO obviously isn't just giving these away out of generosity. It's less of a gift and more of an upsell. The whole point is to encourage people to spend more than they otherwise would. Maybe you were planning to buy one set and now you throw another onto your cart just to hit the threshold. From LEGO's perspective, that's exactly what they want. The exclusivity creates urgency, and the spending threshold encourages larger orders. That naturally brings up scalpers in the secondary market. Whenever a gift with purchase sells out, one of the first things people do is blame resellers. While I definitely understand the frustration, I don't actually think they're the root cause of the problem. Scalpers can only exist because LEGO intentionally makes these sets scarce. If the Sea Serpent was sitting on store shelves for $25 to $30, there would be almost no incentive for someone to buy dozens of copies and try to flip them. Instead, LEGO has created a situation where thousands of people want the set by itself, but don't want to spend $180 to get it. That creates a completely separate market for the gift with purchase, and resellers step in to fill that demand. Now here's where I think this gets a little counterintuitive. Believe it or not, having people resell the gift with purchase can actually push the aftermarket price down, not up. Think about it like this. If only 100 people are selling the Sea Serpent, they don't have much competition, so they can ask $60 or $70 for it. But if over 1,000 people all pick one up, or even multiple, and decide to sell theirs, suddenly they're competing against each other. To actually make a sale, they have to compete with each other and keep lowering the prices until buyers are willing to purchase. That's why the Sea Serpent is selling for around $40 instead of something much higher. It's still obviously more expensive than if LEGO simply sold it at retail, but for a lot of people, that's a much better option than spending $180 on sets they didn't really want in the first place. The difference between this and scalping something like Pokemon cards is that with Pokemon cards, the people are buying something at retail price and then flipping it for a higher price due to all the product on shelves being bought up. With this, it's people spending $180 on other things, then selling the exclusive set that comes with it to people who don't want to have to buy the other sets. I completely understand why LEGO likes this system. Limited time exclusives generate hype, create fear of missing out, and encourage people to buy directly from LEGO instead of waiting for discounts elsewhere. But here's the irony. People who don't want to spend $180 are often either buying the gift with purchase on the secondary market or just skipping out entirely. The demand is clearly there, it's just that LEGO isn't benefiting as much as they could from those sales. Personally, I think a much better solution would be to release these sets as normal retail products 6 months later. Fans who want them right away still have every reason to buy them during the promotion, but everyone else gets a chance to own the set without paying aftermarket prices. We'll come back to that idea later, but first let's talk about the biggest controversy surrounding this whole discussion: people buying multiple copies of a gift with purchase. Outside of reselling, there are obviously plenty of legitimate reasons someone might want multiple copies. Maybe they're army building the minifigures, combining multiple sets into a larger build, or in the case of the Sea Serpent, building an entire fleet. And honestly, can you really blame Castle fans for wanting more than one? It's literally the only Castle set releasing in 2026. Instead of asking why people want multiple copies, I think the better question is why LEGO made the only Castle release of the year a 6-day promotion in the first place. That brings us back to the controversy surrounding duck bricks. LEGO technically has a 1 per household limit on gift with purchases, but in reality, they rarely enforce it. If someone spends enough money to qualify for multiple copies, LEGO is usually more than happy to send them. And honestly, why wouldn't they be? Whether it's duck bricks spending thousands of dollars to build a fleet or a reseller buying extra copies to sell, LEGO benefits every single time because to get it, it means someone is spending $180 on other things. That's why I think it's important to separate the system from the people using it. Duck bricks didn't hack LEGO's website or exploit some loophole. He bought LEGO products in multiple orders, and despite that, LEGO still sent him all the gifted purchases. Now, if you think buying 40 is excessive, that's completely fair. I think most people would agree it's a lot, but there's a huge difference between saying I think that's overboard and sending someone hate messages or even death threats over buying LEGO. At the end of the day, he simply used the system exactly as LEGO designed it. And here's something I don't think enough people consider. Even if Duck Bricks hadn't bought a single Sea Serpent, would that really have solved the problem? Maybe 40 more people would have received one, sure, but there still would have been thousands of fans who wanted the set and can't get it. To my knowledge, LEGO produces tens of thousands of these gift with purchases. Even buying 40 copies is only a tiny fraction of the overall production. Removing one buyer doesn't suddenly fix the shortage. That's why I don't think the controversy was really about Duck Bricks. He just happened to be the face of a much bigger problem due to being a high-profile content creator. If LEGO genuinely wanted every gift with purchase to go to a different customer, they absolutely have the tools to make that happen. They could strictly enforce the 1 per household limit if they really cared, but they don't, because from LEGO's perspective, allowing someone to qualify for 10, 20, or even 40 gift with purchases also means they're buying thousands of dollars worth of LEGO. That's the incentive LEGO created, and I think that's why these controversies keep happening. Every time a highly desirable gift with purchase releases, the community ends up blaming a different group of people. One time it's resellers, another time it's army builders, this time it was a specific content creator. Meanwhile, the one constant in every single controversy is the system itself. LEGO created a promotion that rewards spending more money, intentionally limits supply, and makes one of the most desirable sets of the year available for just a few days. When you combine all those things together, people are naturally going to compete for it. So instead of asking who we should blame every time this happens, maybe we should be asking how LEGO could design a system that doesn't keep putting fans against each other. Anyways, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. Do you agree or disagree with the points I've made here? And what would be your ideal version of the gift with purchase system? If you haven't already, consider subscribing as I make new videos every week. And as always, thank you for watching.